We don't need to yell. Hey.
But I also believe that this is an issue we can see evolving outside of the classroom. Public life is starting to feel like nobody knows what to do with other people's children. Playgrounds, restaurants, stores. We just see kids acting like absolute degenerates and nobody knows what to do.
Bruh, you know what's one of the worst things too? Is when you're out at Target and you see a kid, wah, just spazzing, right? You over here like this, look. Seriously? You feel all entitled? Seriously? In my aisle? And then you see it's always like some other parent come in thinking they know how to, oh, you just gotta do this. You just gotta, and it makes it worse. Stop doing that, please. It makes it worse. You know how many times I've seen that? The kid like, who the fuck is this lady touching me? Oh, she needs a hug. No, the fuck, she need her ass whooped. She don't need a hug from you, lady. Gentle parenting is destroying society. Video by Sono Jordan. Look, have y'all been beat as a kid? Trust me, if you weren't beat as a kid, it's like, good for you, you're lucky. But at the same time, you was probably, I don't want to speak on people because, you know, people get all, I did a video about a few months ago on gentle parenting and people was killing my ass. They was like, yo, that's passive parenting, you know, because people are like, well, I need to get beat as a kid. You know what? I ain't get beat because I just respected my parents. Shit, I was too. My parents just had their own plan. You feel me? They just had their own plan. Without further ado, I appreciate you guys for clicking the video, subscribe, hype the video, like the video. Let's get straight into the video.
She been comment me.
Real quick, y'all, the word parenting came in here so much in this video. I want you guys to count how many times the word parenting was said and leave it in the comment section. You feel me?
This is exactly why people say gentle parenting doesn't work.
No. We don't need to yell. Hey.
Shut your big mouth. I hate you.
You better sit down and put your seatbelt on.
No, you wanna oh, stop.
Oh my goodness. Sometimes I just know I can't handle kids.
Where does your plate go? Go ahead.
Oh my fucking God. No. 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 No.
Gentle parenting is destroying society. Recently, I've noticed this really weird trend going on where kids are fully misbehaving, they're being disrespectful, and in some cases, they're acting violent. That's not the weird part though, because I think most of us know that kids can become feral beasts at the drop of a hat. The weird part is how parents are responding to this behavior. There are so many parents who are now trying to correct their children by being nice. And I'm not talking about a kid who might accidentally steal a Snickers bar from a store and the parent calmly explains to them, "Thou shalt not covet thy neighbor's property." I'm talking about kids having full meltdowns, hitting their parents, and engaging in generally psychopathic behavior just for the parent to try and gently tell them that they shouldn't act that way. For example, I recently stumbled across this video.
This has to be AI. It gotta be AI. How he stomping so hard?
After seeing this video, I couldn't help but notice just a few things. First off, what happened to this TV? It looks like somebody tried to cosplay WrestleMania 42 on it.
What in the hell?
Second off, this kid is acting like he's acting out the scene in Spider-Man where Peter Parker finds out his uncle was killed.
Stay back.
Yeah.
And third, the mom here looks scared for her life, like she's afraid that any sudden movement will attract the three.
That's why I said it seemed like it was. I mean, I've seen bad parents though. I ain't gonna lie. I've seen very bad parents. I've seen some kid literally. I've seen some. I said bad parents. I meant bad kids. I've seen some very bad parents. I've seen a parent use her kid's hijab to steal. She over here like, come here, and she's shoving products inside her hijab. Are you dead ass? Using your kids like that? She come here, lift it up, right there like that. Okay, shit, y'all got a method, huh? And they walked out, the security alarm went, wee. She was like, no, I don't know. Because you're not going to expect kids to be stealing stuff. I was in Europe, though, obviously. So they were probably like Turkish or something like that.
Foot tall wildebeest that's in her living room. And all she does to diffuse this situation is just say, hey, like stop, hey. And maybe I'm totally wrong
She's
in
terrified.
saying this, but I'm at least 50% sure that if I open any kind of parenting or even self-defense textbook, I'm not going to see that as the prime top-tier tactic that's being promoted. Can you imagine if you were being robbed and a cop happens to be there, but his training just consisted of him watching that video on repeat 100 times?
A masked gunman barges into a restaurant, displays his gun, but look, way in the back there, they're both cops. Then they charge at the armed robber.
Hey, like stop, hey. And naturally I, being the opinionated fellow that I am, wanted to understand how this type of parenting was actually affecting our society. And let me tell you, it's affecting our society in some pretty bad ways. First, we need to start with this question. Does gentle parenting actually make kids worse?
I think gentle parenting, I feel like that's such a weird word. I've been hearing it and reading it so much already. I feel like it's fine, but if we being real, anything can be fine as long as you do it the right way. Because a lot of people, it depends on how you define gentle. It's like, if I'm like, gentle to me is shit, more gentle than my parents who was beating me, then that can work. But if gentle is, I never got beat as a kid, and my gentle still not laying hands on my kids or what's it, then now they're babied. Now that's passive. When you don't speak up, you're scared or you're too busy trying to be your kid's best friend. I've seen all my friends who are like that. You know what I'm saying? And a lot of acquaintances, people at school, different dynamics, you know, all of us have. The worst ones are the people that the parents that try and have a relationship. I think what's worse than gentle parenting is people that are trying to have a relationship with their kid as a best friend. Because now you can't tell them things that actually they need. Actually, when they need character development, they can't go through with that. Because it's like telling your best friend, I don't think your company is going to work. I'm not telling your best friend, I don't think you're good at sports. That's your son. Tell him you're not good. Go to practice. You're skipping practice. You need to go to practice. You know what I'm saying? I think that's way worse than gentle parenting. But gentle parenting is way more harmful in the long run because it's values and core, almost like core personal beliefs that coincide with that. Now you're going out into real world thinking that things are like this or like that when they really aren't. You just were never told, you were never disciplined, and it's far more dangerous, especially if you go out to just like parts of people or neighborhoods or areas in this world, not just your city, your state, the world, acting the way you were with all this entitlement. You know what I'm saying? It could be dangerous. I think gentle parenting actually is worse. It probably is worse.
Before we get too deep into this, I do want to at least try to be fair. If I had to take a totally wild and optimistic shot in the dark, I would say that I think a lot of these parents didn't choose gentle parenting because they wanted to create an entitled, psychotic, evil child. I think a lot of them chose it because maybe they grew up being excessively yelled at, punished, or even feeling like their emotions didn't matter. So in those cases, I think gentle parenting serves as almost like a correction to that type of parenting. Whenever their own kid misbehaves, instead of getting a paddle and going to town on their child, they try to emotionally connect with them in a way that they feel like their own parents didn't. And don't get me wrong, I've seen some cases where I feel like this could work.
I just want to play my tablet!
And that's exactly why you're not playing it right now, because of this behavior.
I think you got shark teeth. Fuck. You know the parents that are like, yo, he's throwing a tantrum, acting crazy, or their kid is, and they're just like, leave him. He does this for 5 minutes, and then 15 minutes later, you like, so why is he still acting like that? I don't think you know your son. Why is he still acting like that? Those be the worst parents and the worst kids. No accountability, no action, no confrontation. It's just let him do it. Watch, he's gonna get better. Watch.
Nose and toes right now.
You are not going to hurt yourself while calming down. Do you understand me?
I know you just want to play your tail, brother, but I said no electronics before one us, right?
But I've also seen cases of this where I feel like I'm watching two trains colliding into each other, and Godzilla's attacking them.
See, this is where you go to the kid. Personally, you go to the kid. You sit here and say, look, why do you want to get inside? At least this is the way I feel like it is. Maybe I'm a little psychopathic or psychotic. You go and you say, this is where you come to your child and say, why are you crying? You want to get inside? What's inside? Why? And you explain it in that sense over a certain amount of time. That's not going to help this one time. This one situation, that's not going to help. But over time, that style of thinking, that cognitive kicking in the brain for the child, understanding the reason why they're not going in, why they're not going in. If you want to go in, you have to do this. There's consequences to your emotion and your behavior, not just actions, your emotions and your behavior with those emotions. And you have to think clearly while you're feeling these emotions. And the faster you instill it in kids, the more emotionally sound and emotionally intelligent they will be. That's just me though. I don't know. Am I wrong? I don't have kids, but I just like, it's not that easy too. I understand y'all. I get it. Y'all parents gonna be probably crucifying me in the comments. I'm gonna turn my comments off. Fuck it.
Are you ready to be nice?
No!
Okay, we're going to sit out here until you're ready to be nice. Hands are not for hitting.
What?
Can you use your inside voice?
No!
Hands are not for hitting. Nah, you deserve to be pushed in the back, Mom.
We don't need to. Hey, no.
Yep.
Hands are not for hitting. We don't throw stuff. Are you ready to be nice?
No!
Okay, well then we're going to stay out here until you're ready.
Like, come on. This child not only pushed your mom, she not only hit her, but she also threw a chair at her like she's Conor McGregor attacking a butt.
I'm not gonna lie. Don't. What I said. Don't do that with this kid. Don't do that. This one need a little some. I ain't gonna lie. This one need a little some. A little cocotazo. Pow.
And I'm definitely not a parenting expert, but wouldn't the implication of that be that your child will think it's okay to let their frustration out in those kinds of ways? I mean, I don't know. That's just a thought. But like I said, I don't think gentle parenting is always bad. The American Academy of Pediatrics says a balanced authoritative parenting style, which means it's warm but also firm, is strongly associated with positive mental health and behavioral outcomes in children. That parenting style is contrasted with what's called permissive parenting, which is parenting that's warm.
Okay, that's what I meant. Permissive, not passive. I think people were saying it was permissive, not passive on my other video, and I was like, what are y'all talking about?
But lax. A type of parenting that fails to set firm limits or require age-appropriate mature behavior. And while these two parenting styles may be similar, they are different, but they often get lumped together. But there's a dangerous difference. True gentle parenting, which is the kind with a balanced authoritative approach, is not the same as permissive parenting, but the internet treats them like they're the same thing. From what I've seen, it seems like anytime anybody is slightly, even remotely nice to their child, it's considered gentle parenting. But there's a key difference. Permissive parenting says, I don't want to upset my child, so I'm not going to hold the line. While at the same time, real gentle parenting says, you're allowed to feel your feelings, but don't act like a wild behemoth. Otherwise, you get a one-way ticket to the Belt Express.
We don't need to yell. Hey.
The problem is that the online version of gentle parenting looks like letting your children walk all over you, no real consequences, and trying to validate feelings while never actually stopping bad behavior. The APA describes permissive parenting as warm but lax, failing to set firm limits, closely monitor activity, or require appropriately mature behavior. That's the style of parenting most people are talking about when they say things like gentle parenting is ruining kids, or in my case, ruining society. Psychology Today's gentle parenting doesn't mean permissive parenting makes the same point. Gentle parenting done correctly is firm and kind, not passive. That does mean that a
He in the back there. He in the back getting it.
child can be allowed to feel angry while at the same time not being allowed to commit assault and battery on every person in a 3-block radius. And call me crazy, but I don't think doing that is invalidating your child's feelings. I think it's more like living in society, in a society that works and functions. And naturally, that begs the question, why has this new version of gentle parenting become so popular? If I had to make a fully scientific guess,
I would think the reason why it became like that is because niggas was just beating the fuck out their kids, you know what I'm saying? And I was one of them babies for a minute. And then it stopped. But that did. I've never heard anybody say, nah, actually I'm lying. Well, actually I'd say in real life, in movies you hear about people getting beat and it was actually a problem. In real life, I've never necessarily, not to say that it's not real, but I've never met someone who's like, yeah, I used to get beat when I did something wrong and it was such a problem. Like I've never heard that, you know what I'm saying? Everybody who's ever gotten beat was like, I used to get beat, but I feel like it did teach me how to, you know what I'm saying? Like it helped. So I mean, turned it down.
would say I think it's because a lot of parents have become softer than a warm marshmallow.
Oh, hold up, y'all. My shit tripping, hold up.
Some parents treat saying the word no the same way Gen Z treats the word job, with sheer horror and terror and fear. And look, I think it's probably good for children to be able to associate feelings with names, but there's a difference between you're angry because you wanted a toy and because you're angry you're burning down the house. And if those feelings have no limits, kids are going to start running buck wild, and we're going to start seeing some pretty tangible downside on society. And I'll explain that a bit more in a second. Business Insider's 2026 article on moving beyond gentle parenting pressure quotes psychologist Lindsay C. Gibson's framework.
Ah, Lindsay C. Gibson. Ah, yeah, Lindsay. Oh, Lindsay. Good work from Lindsay, guys.
Protection, nurture, guidance, and patient correction. Not perfection, not domination, not surrender. If a child never experiences a real no, they're not going to become better children. They're just going to become fragile. Fragile children who will explode at any sort of friction they face.
Almost like when people say, when you have a kid, you don't want to try and be quiet once you have a newborn, because then they're more sensitive to all of the noises and things of that nature, and they're gonna wake up. You ever, when people, oh, I gotta put the baby to sleep. Oh, just put the baby to sleep. If you in that bit with a blender for a week and a half, 2 weeks straight, the baby's gonna get used to that sound, and the baby's gonna get used to that sound and be able to sleep. So in that sense, it's like the more you're trying to code for or help, the more you're giving it a disadvantage, giving them a disadvantage. The more you try and protect and I want to shield you from this world, is the more times they'll go out into this world and be shell-shocked, rocked, and cooked because you sheltered them a little bit too much to where they're sensitive to it. They're naive to it.
And that fragility doesn't just stay at home, it also shows up in classrooms. I want you to take a moment, grab your thinking cap, and picture this situation. Imagine a classroom where a teacher has 28 kids. One refuses to put away a phone, one disrupts class, one melts down over correction, one argues at every single instruction. The teacher then decides to implement some kind of law and order, but then she gets an email from a parent saying that their child felt like they were being targeted by this kind of discipline. Then John McPrincipal, who is the principal of the school, feels like the teacher is being too harsh and wants less disciplinary action. In situations like that, the teacher is expected to be the teacher, the parent, and a therapist all at the same time. Now look, I'm not saying that every single are being asked to set boundaries for children who have never had to deal with these boundaries. That's like if Gordon Ramsay shows up to my house and tells me to make beef Wellington. I don't know what the ingredients are. I don't know where.
Okay, Jordan. All right, so now here's what y'all want to do. Get a good puff pastry. The puff pastry is what you want, all right? You want a good one, not too crummy, not too gummy, right? You want to get some nice mushrooms. I'm thinking shiitake and some good prosciutto, right? Get you a nice artisan Dijon mustard. We're gonna put that, you know what I'm saying? I know how to cook for real. If y'all want to see how I can cook, tap into my vlogs, link in description, please.
to start. I don't even know what the first thing I would do would be. Actually, I do know where I'd start. By throwing a chair at Gordon Ramsay.
We don't need to yell. Hey.
But I also believe that this is an issue we can see evolving outside of the classroom. Public life is starting to feel like nobody knows what to do with other people's children. Playgrounds, restaurants, stores. We just see kids acting like absolute degenerates and nobody knows what to do.
Bruh, you know what's one of the worst things too? Is when you're out at Target and you see a kid, wah, 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 just spazzing, right? You over here like this, look. Seriously? You feel all entitled? Seriously? In my aisle? And then you see it's always like some other parent come in thinking they know how to, oh, you just gotta do this. You just gotta, and it makes it worse. Stop doing that, please. It makes it worse. You know how many times I've seen that? The kid like, who the fuck is this lady touching me? Oh, she needs a hug. No, the fuck, she need her ass whooped. She don't need a hug from you, lady. You making the whole store hear her now. Shit.
Parents feel judged, the other adults feel annoyed, the grandparents think nobody disciplines anymore. The child is still learning what the world expects. I mean, it's not like I can just walk up to another person's child and hit them over the head with a box of Fruit Loops I wanted to buy. I feel like I would get tackled by security and arrested and sent to the gulag. I don't know, I can't do that though. A Vox article specifically argues that people increasingly don't know how to deal with other people's kids in public, partly because of parenting norms, gentle parenting language, and adult discomfort around boundaries have all shifted. The reality is, though, that a society cannot function when parents do not assert authority over their children. And I'm sure you've heard a whole lot of people say that we need to go back to the older days of discipline, how it was back in the day. The days where if kids were even slightly disrespectful, their parents would hit them with a car in order to teach them a lesson. But the old way of parenting still had problems. I think when some people hear things like gentle parenting is failing, they immediately think we need to go back to the old ways of discipline. And while I do think there's probably a lot of benefits to that, I think it can also be counterproductive sometimes. I think in some cases...
Can we just say anything parenting? Like, can I just say nice parenting? Is that a real thing? Can we make that a real thing? Nice parenting, accountability parenting, jealousy parenting. Like, are these all just tag along labels that we could attach to parenting?
That style of old school parenting prioritized fear over respect. The APA differentiates authoritarian parenting from authoritative parenting. Authoritative parenting, which is not the kind with...
Nigga, I'm hearing parenting a little bit too much. My brain getting fried. I'm hearing parenting too much. It sounds weird. It sounds funny to me now.
With authoritarian harshness is the style associated with stronger child outcomes. So I think that maybe the most effective style of parenting isn't the one where you let your kids do whatever you want, but also isn't the one with harsh and excessive punishments. I think it's leadership. I mean, if you think about it, children are the dumbest people in society. Well, second dumbest behind people who argue about politics on Instagram. And because they're so dumb, they don't know things. They don't know how to act. They don't know the rules. They don't know how to behave in an actually functioning society. But leadership is exactly how we can guide them towards those things. And that doesn't mean letting your kids do whatever they want and running buck wild and being crazy, but it also doesn't mean excessively punishing them. The combination of warmth, stability, and predictable consequences seems like the exact kind of leadership that many kids need. And I really just want to be double, triple, quadruple clear here. I'm saying this generally. I'm not saying this is the case in every single situation.
Yeah, parents have a case by case with their children because children are all different. You could have 4 kids and 2 of them respond better to gentle parenting and 2 of them you can beat the fuck out their ass. Now, that's going to do something to them psychologically and mentally because why are you beating me and him and not him and her? You know what I'm saying? But it's just to prove my point of you can even have different parenting styles with different children. So it's not a one case all like, oh, well, we all need to just do gentle parenting or dismissive parenting or whatever parenting, because my household's different from yours and then your kids are different from each other. You know what I'm saying? Like it takes to be a successful leader, you need to be able to be a chameleon and change, shift. When this person needs this, I'm this. When this person needs this, I'm this for them. You feel me? Like that's the only way. And once you realize that, the better you'll be. I'm gonna end the video there. That was a W video. So no. Let me know. Was your ass beat the fuck up as a kid? Was you beat up? Do you think it helped? How do you think parenting affected you? Your parenting affected you? I feel like for me it was fine, but as time goes on, things change. I definitely am not gonna be abusive, but I'm definitely not gonna be no pushover. Come here. And I'm definitely not trying to be my kid's best friends. What are you talking about? I'm good off all of that. And obviously it's easier said than done before anything actually happens, but that's just my beliefs, you feel me? Let me know what y'all think about this down in the comments. I appreciate y'all for watching. Love you to death, boy. I'm gonna see y'all in the next one. I'm gone.